In the day's other news, as we just heard, Wall Street slumped again as a war raged between hedge funds and small investors. The Dow Jones Industrial Average lost 620 points to close at 29,982. The Nasdaq fell 266 points, and the S&P 500 slid 73. For the week, the major indexes lost more than 3%. The U.S. Capitol Police are boosting protection for lawmakers at travel hubs around Washington, D.C. The security chief for the House of Representatives says that officers will guard airports and the city's train station. That comes amid fears of further violence after the January 6th attack on the Capitol. Anti-abortion forces held their annual March for Life in Washington today, but it was small scale due to the pandemic and the recent violence at the Capitol. Leaders did hold a procession to the U.S. Supreme Court after hearing virtually from speakers, including Republican Congressman Chris Smith of New Jersey.
Someday, future generations of Americans will look back on us and wonder how and why a society that prided itself on human rights and empathy could have effectuated and enabled the loss of so many defenseless babies.
The annual event protests the 1973 Roe v. Wade decision that legalized most abortion. In India, opposition parties boycotted the opening of Parliament's budget session. It was a show of solidarity with farmers protesting laws that they say will hurt their incomes. Elsewhere, fresh clashes broke out in New Delhi between farmers and pro-police groups. Police used batons and tear gas to break up the fighting. Back in this country, President Biden visited wounded soldiers in one of his first forays outside the White House. He helicoptered to Walter Reed National Military Medical Center in Maryland, where his son, Beau, died of brain cancer in 2015. The president called the doctors and the patients real heroes. A former FBI lawyer was sentenced to a year's probation today in a probe into how the Russia investigation began. Kevin Kleinsmith admitted doctoring an email that was used to justify surveillance of the Trump 2016 campaign. He's the only person charged so far in the special counsel's probe. And one of the nation's leading black basketball coaches, John Chaney, died today in Philadelphia. He spent 24 seasons at Temple University and was twice National Coach of the Year. Along the way, he mentored dozens of players from poor backgrounds. John Chaney was 89 years old. Still to come on the NewsHour, a correspondent's chance encounter with an asylum seeker she met on the migrant trail. David Brooks and Jonathan Capehart on President Biden's first full week in office. And a look at One Night in Miami, the first feature film directed by Oscar-winning actor Regina King. And much more.
This is the PBS NewsHour from WETA Studios in Washington and in the West from the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism at Arizona State University.